Earlier this week, I posted a video about Spiderwoman, aka Jessica Drew's impending debut in the SUMC quadrant of the MCU, that's Sony's universe of Marvel characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. On February 16th, Charles Murphy, an industry insider, said that Sony's looking to cast a female between the ages of 25 and 35 for the part. So let's break down a top 10 list of Hollywood actresses who could play Spider-Woman. Before we dive into the list, I do want to comment on one particular actress who could easily be swapped in and out with my number 10 on the list, and her name is Emily Blunt. Her outings in films like A Quiet Place and the criminally underrated starring role in Edge of Tomorrow means she would be perfect for this role, but I still have her on my reserve list for Sue Storm, aka Invisible Woman of the Fantastic Four, which ideally should be playing alongside her husband John Krasinski. Also, thank you for watching the channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be one of the first to know when we upload videos just like this each and every week. Let's jump right into our top 10 list. Coming in at number 10, Krysten Ritter. Ritter's outings on Netflix's Jessica Jones prove that she has what it takes to be a tough female heroine. Jessica Jones proves she can play layered, nuanced characters that are as deep as they are beautiful. With Jessica Jones still within the 2-year clause for Marvel use, this would be a way to bring her over and not violate that contractual clause. She'd be going from one Jessica to the next. Now, and this is what I was talking about, she's just outside of the ideal range that the studio is looking at, the only one on this list who is, and the reason she lands in the number 10 slot. But her outings as the head of Alias should make the studio overlook that small detail. Also, what qualifies Ritter might also be what qualifies our next lady on the list. Number 9. Shailene Woodley. Shailene Woodley was originally cast as Mary Jane Watson. Ultimately, her scenes were cut, but it shows you that the studio has long had her on their proverbial shortlist. There's a long history of actors cast as one hero, later to become another. Ben Affleck went from Daredevil to Batman, Halle Berry went from Catwoman to X-Men Storm, Chris Evans went from the Human Torch to Captain America. Perhaps Shailene goes from MJ to JD. Number 8. Gemma Arterton. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, Clash of the Titans, Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters are just some of the filmography under Gemma's belt, all of which require athleticism, aerobic ability, and acrobatic skill. If you look at that body of work and then think of what would be needed as Spider-Woman, from strength and speed to climbing walls and blasting venom, it's clear to see how she would be just so perfect. Number 7. Saoirse Ronan. In 2011, Saoirse played Hannah, a tale about a girl trained by her ex-CIA dad, Eric Bana, that gave us a great look at her fighting skill and ability to play an action-heavy part. Since then, she's played a Mary Queen of Scots, Lady Bird, and Little Women. Saoirse would definitely bring a certain level of class, poise, and sophistication to her action. Number 6. Vanessa Kirby. Vanessa's been playing female characters that are as beautiful as they are deadly. From White Widow in the Mission Impossible films to Hattie in Hobbs and Shaw, and even Princess Margaret on The Crown, these roles prove that Vanessa should be at the top of anyone's list for Jessica Drew. Hattie was an MI6 agent in the Fast and Furious spin-off film, and Jessica Drew may very well end up one as well if she's not an agent of S.W.O.R.D. Number 5. Olivia Cooke. Olivia Cooke was in one of my favorite movies of 2018, named Ready Player One, as a lead character named Artemis. She had to help Parzival fight through hordes of Master Chiefs, do some crazy driving through monster trucks and King Kongs, and fend off ghosts at the Overlook Hotel. And speaking of hotels, Olivia also had a long tenure on a show called Bates Hotel. She is beautiful and athletic, just what is needed for Jessica Drew. Number 4. Kathryn Langford. Langford was originally in Avengers Endgame, but was ultimately cut from the final version. She was a future grown-up version of Tony's daughter Morgan that he was to see at what Joe Russo called the metaphysical way station. While that was ultimately cut, it does free her up to join the MCU in another role, and that is of Jessica Drew. She checks all the boxes of an ideal live-action Spider-Woman. Number 3. Ana de Armas. From Blade Runner 2049 to Knives Out, Ana de Armas proves she has what it takes for such a physical role that also needs to maintain a certain amount of allure. We'll see her next in the 25th James Bond film, No Time to Die, which I'm sure, as a quote-unquote Bond girl, will cement her in the minds of fans that she would also be great in the MCU. Number 2. Daisy Ridley. Rey Palpatine? No, Rey Skywalker. Daisy Ridley is famous for her starring role in the third trilogy of the Star Wars franchise. She fought bravely against Kylo Ren and the forces of the dark side with the lightsabers and pole staffs, and she would carry that over to Spider-Woman with ease. On top of that, she definitely has the looks to nail the part of Jessica Drew. Number 1 on this list, without further ado, Alicia Vikander. In my Spider-Woman video from the other day, link is here, I talked about how Alicia is on the studio's shortlist for Jessica Drew. Vikander was Ava in Ex Machina. She played Gabby in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Heather in James Bourne alongside Matt Damon. Recently, Alicia proved her physicality and acrobatic ability to play what was essentially a superheroine with her turn as Lara Croft in 2018's Tomb Raider reboot, and is set to reprise this role for the announced sequel. Alicia has the looks for Jessica Drew and as her masked Spider-Woman counterpart, as well as the athletic ability to run her through the paces in her first live-action outing. Climbing over all those rocks and airplanes in Tomb Raider gives you a good idea how she'd look climbing walls in a spider suit. She also won numerous awards, including Academy Awards, SAG, and Critics' Choice Awards for 2016's The Danish Girl. She has the looks, the acting ability, and the physicality for Jessica Drew. But now it's your turn. Who would you like to see cast as Jessica Drew in a Spider-Woman film? Go ahead and leave me your picks in the comment section below along with your other thoughts on this. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be one of the first to know when we upload videos just like this each and every week. I'm Jesse, this is JLS Comics, and I'll see you soon.